Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of the Part of the Pride and Aston Villa Women podcast. Unfortunately, it's we didn't really want to do this one this week, did we? Because it wasn't the best game to talk about at the weekend. But we're here. We are dedicated through thick and thin with our team, Aston Villa, of course. Now, it's not going to be all doom and gloom because the under-23s are live playing right now. It's a 33rd minute at the Bescot, the old home of Aston Villa Women, and we've got a lot of our usual panel members are there at the moment, and Tracy is going to try and give us a halftime match report. So in about 10 minutes-ish, we might have to pause everything and get Tracy on to see how it's going. But it is 2-1 to Germany at the moment. So yeah, we'll keep you updated as and when for that one. But of course, I can never do this by myself. Emma, lovely to see you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I love the little pause there. Yeah, not too bad, thank you. Gary, lovely to see you. How are you doing?
I'm living the dream this week.
Living the dream this week. Oh, we're so positive, Gary.
Well, I finally found out I'm allowed to go back to work. So that was a massive bonus.
Hey. There we go. Let's all celebrate that, shall we? We'll start on a positive. Oh, fantastic news. And Emily, of course, with the best background of the lot of us. How are you doing?
Well, I'm good. I'm currently still eating my dinner, so I'm just going to sit here and nibble at it.
That's absolutely fine. It's dedication to eating. I might have a baby at some point. Who knows?
That'll be quick.
As in, no, that's
Gain
not
a baby.
That's not what I meant. In fact, I'm done. I'm leaving. Goodbye. Not in the mood. My brain's not well. Right. I knew you would take it that way. I may be given a baby to look after. My child. Not just random baby.
Potentially even yours.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows on this podcast? Hey, we'll see. We'll see, shall we? Now, let's begin. So what a week. Needs must. And we're here, of course. Now, going into the game, we all said last week, it's going to be 3 points. And we all said, at least a point. You know, if it all goes wrong, it'll be at least a point. I'd like to go back to that positivity, that naivety that came with it. That'd be quite nice. Because Leicester were only a point beneath us, weren't they, going into this? And like I said, we all thought, it's at least a point. But it just shows to never underestimate a team, and that any team on their day can beat anyone else. Because as Tracy rightly said last week, you know, Leicester were the only ones to take points off Chelsea. And yeah, they showed us.
I was wildly wrong. I guess 5-0.
I know. It was nearly 5-0 to them. If it kept going the other way. However, this result sees both teams switch, which is a very, very sobering sight, should I say? Sorry, not thought. And yeah, Leicester are now moving to 10th. We are 11th. And there's only, 4 points between us and Crystal Palace? And you think, yep. Is it time? Because Emily, I was gonna come to you because I messaged you the other night when I was going back through our old audio that I had in a minute. On the 5th of December, you said, and I quote, "If we've only got 9 points by February, we'll be in trouble." We've got 10. So my question to start us all off: is it time to start worrying? Or is there still time to make sure we stay up, at least?
I think if we start worrying, we'll be doing it in time to make sure we stay up. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like if we just sort of roll along assuming we'll be fine, I don't think we will be. I think we need to start worrying now so that we've got time to fix it.
So like a pre-worry.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we don't want to find ourselves in a position where we're relying on other people's results, and we're very nearly at that point. We're lucky that Crystal Palace haven't been able to close out games because they keep playing really well for 2/3 of their matches, and then it just slips away at the end. So if if one of those goes the other way, we're going to be in a bit of, and we've got to play them. So that's a huge game.
Yeah. Yeah. We were so positive.
Let's just not talk about that weekend. It doesn't
No.
exist.
It doesn't exist. Sophie in the chat, good evening to Sophie. She says, I knew Leicester's defence was going to be good, hence my conservative 1-0. Yes, when we're making our predictions, I wasn't expecting what actually happened. It sounds a bit like a horror film, doesn't it? We weren't expecting what happened. Because coming on to it, so let's start with the stats, because looking at the stats, it was not a 3-0 victory for Leicester. So quite out stats. So Villa had their chances. Overall, 12 shots. Leicester had 13. So it wasn't as if they were massively outshot. With 3 on target compared to their 4. So again, not much in it. Even dominated possession, 70-30. And you just think all of these things are pointing in the right direction. We even had touches in the box. They had 27. We had 26. So again, we were in and amongst it. We had chances. But Gary, I'll ask you this one. What was it, do you think, that's affected us? Because that's not the Villa we were expecting or have been seeing recently. So what do you think it is? Because it just wasn't good enough, was it, at the weekend?
I honestly don't know. Whatever you consider how the defence was against Chelsea,
Yeah.
but they fell apart against Brighton and they fell apart against Leicester. And it's reached the stage of the season that every team is now Chelsea. We can't underestimate anybody now.
Yeah.
It was hard to watch. It was really, really hard to watch, and I don't know what's happened. The girls are trying. You can see they're trying. Although I do think Sab's confidence is shot. The amount of back passes that are coming back to her, and there's been a few mistakes in recent games.
Yeah.
I don't think we're putting her under unnecessary pressure.
There's a lot of, well, like you said, it's a lot of pressure now, isn't it? Because yes, you should be able to rely on your goalkeeper, but when you've got a Leicester who are pressing so high, or any team that's pressing so high, you are putting so much faith onto that one person, even if they are incredible. You're almost saying, okay, we can't deal with it in a sense, you have it. And passing it again on someone else. Would it be better or worse, though, to bring Caitlin Talbot in for a game? What do we think?
I think worth a shot. I do think it's worth a shot, but we've seen her train. She's not a bad goalkeeper. Does Sabs need to realise that, yes, you've been our number one, but now you do have an experienced competitor. Earlier in the season, you might have had an elite competing with her, but unfortunately, her injury and other circumstances have led to her not competing with Sabs. Has Sabs got a wee bit too comfortable, knowing that we're not going to give Sophia a long-term chance in the team?
Or just mentally, does Sabs need a bit of a break? Because, she's, again, relying on her so intensely.
I think we just don't help ourselves, like you said, with the way we play out from the back. It's clearly how we're trying to play, but
yeah,
like I saw the end of the Canada match last night, and like Sabs played a quick ball out, like the ball was in the other half, like before you'd even been like, oh, it was a goal kick. Who knew?
Yeah,
like when we do it, we're like, oh, I wonder what we might do. Are we going to pass to a centre back? Oh. And lo and behold, we passed to a centre back. So the forwards are like, oh, wonder what they're going to do.
Yeah, it becomes predictable, doesn't it?
And she did make some good stops in that Canada match, though. Maybe the international break will help as well for a few of the players, like just having a reset away, maybe.
Yeah, and again, different faces, different, picking up different bits possibly, and you just think something something needs to change, because if that's the rest of our season, it's not looking good, is it? Emma, I'll come to you for the next one. So the lineup, there was only one change, and that was Katie Robinson coming in for Chastity Grant. Now, Katie Robinson, as we've talked on the pod before, she has divided opinion whether she should be starting or whether she's still like super sub, impact sub. But yeah, how did you feel she performed? Should she be starting, or should it have been the other way around? Chastity start and her coming on.
I would have passed because she's got that drive that we need. She's got that run. She's got that speed, and she's got the physicality. Whereas I don't think Katie Robinson's got that quite yet. Yes, she can play physical, but I feel like she doesn't quite know how to play physical in the right way, if you know what I mean, without being too dirty. But rewatching the match today, she had a few good runs forward. But again, you didn't see much of her. She didn't do a lot. So I'd still have started maybe 70 minutes, 60 minutes.
Yeah,
if we needed it.
She had the attempt that hit the crossbar, didn't she? And I think that kind of reignited that, that's that flair, that's that spark that, we did see when she was at Brighton, and we have seen for England as well. But apart from that.
Makes you wonder why, like based on, because Chastity's been playing really well, why the change was made. I don't really understand it.
Well, that's the thing. So was it, was Chastity carrying something and they were being cautious? Or was it that, again, Robinson's had a really good week in training and maybe Natalia thought she deserved the start? Sophie saying Chastity, she would have gone for Chastity to start. Gary, how about you? How do you stand on Katie Robinson?
I just haven't seen enough of her. To me, she's a player for the future. She's not the starter. While we still have Dree and Chastity there, Dree wasn't even in the squad. She was already away training with Canada, and we're not being given any information on that either. But I'd say there's very few people in the stand that wouldn't want to see Dree's name on the starting 11. She's your second top goal scorer behind Daly, and she does always create chances and take chances. She's not afraid. So for me, Katie is technically third choice, and probably not the level that we needed to be yet. She does back out of challenges. I've even watched her there for England here tonight, and she's backed out of a couple of challenges, But when games are getting tough and teams are playing hard against us, she's not the player that's going to, go in hard and try and win the ball. Whereas, as has been stated, Chastity is quite tough.
Yes.
I wonder how much, because she did have some good runs forward in that first half, especially in the first sort of 20 minutes when we were on top more.
Yeah.
I wonder if, and I think the team as a whole did not play well. So I think it's I don't want to pin. Purely because she was the only change in the lineup. I don't want it to make it. I personally don't think that wasn't the reason why we played badly.
Oh no.
No, it was.
I'd like to see
that was a team effort.
Yeah, I think she's got a lot of potential still, and her attacking runs are there. And it's just, it comes back to what we always say with us. We have all this play down the wings, and then there's never anybody in the right place in the box.
The right place, right time. Because Emily, you wanted to talk about that corner in the first 10 minutes and how it could have gone so much better, but typical Villa, all the ideas, but not being able to convert. But go for it.
I briefly rewatched some of it earlier, and then I'm not gonna lie, I gave up. I didn't want to watch the rest of it. But I think it was around 10 minutes maybe. We had a free kick sort of midway in the Leicester half, and it's we have the good ideas, we have the sort of attacking thinking. Jill stood over it. She notices Katie's in space, so those two are clearly on the same page, and she takes it quick. and then the camera pans out, and just the rest of the team is still like at the top of the D running in, and the cross comes in and there's nobody there. And I know that's on both. You know, if Robert put her head up, she might have seen that there was nobody there yet. But also, you know,
Showing
either
some
like
initiative,
yeah,
then
just everyone
But we're going to
seems
be
to be a step
difficult
off
to see
pace.
Gabby on our arse.
Yeah. Interesting. Friend from the One Day Show. Hello, Coach Criminal. Now, interesting last night. Coach Criminal talked about how there's big egos in the dressing room that need to be addressed, and that could maybe be some of the issue in the team coming together. So yeah, so put there again, Dree, Daly, Hansen, look like late 20s players who are difficult to manage. Villa need to get younger players in, like Robinson and Salmon, in who are more energetic. I don't agree with that, because if you've seen Dree, Rich, and Kirsty play, they are full of energy and full of strength and full of skill. Now, I also... Again, hey, but it's good. It's good to have different opinions in the chat. Also, don't agree with that. Who think they're better than Villa? Absolutely not. I think they're just players who've been underestimated, who were still very much underrated, and for whatever reason, when they signed for their respective teams, whether it was United, Arsenal, etc., they did. They fit to a point. But they just were never going to get a shout out. So you can't expect people to stay on a bench. When really we know they are getting on a little bit, but they're worth their weight in gold.
And I think as well, we know that when that front three, those three players, because that's who we've mentioned, I think when those three are playing at the same time on the pitch, that's our strongest option going forward, and it has previously worked. So it's not a case of it's not a case of trying to fit three players that are all, like can't play with each other. That's not what that is at all, I don't think.
No, absolutely. If anything, it's the issue of where does Gabby fit? Because we've seen different formations trying to get her and Rich into the same lineup. We've seen them, being substituted for one another and all of these things. So at the end of the day, maybe Arroyo isn't the problem. Maybe RDP wasn't the problem. But the issue is whatever manager you've got, it's going to take time to embed what you want to see. And, we talked about this as well. You inherit players who maybe aren't your first pick, who aren't your first choice. So there's got to be some adjustment there.
There's obviously going to be, like when a new manager comes in especially, and we saw it with Sean sort of interim as well. Obviously he switched up who he was starting, and Natalia's done the same. And it's like you said, they've inherited a team and they want to see who works best. And regardless of if it's like how much it's affecting the whole team vibe, there's always going to be, like, if you've been starting every game and then suddenly you're not, it's just human nature to find that a little bit difficult to deal with. That doesn't it's obviously, and then it's on the manager to figure that all out and how the team can work around it. But it doesn't make somebody, I don't think it makes somebody necessarily like a bad person or have a big ego if they find that difficult to deal with. No, that's what I'm trying to say. Do you know what I mean?
I think that's one of the reasons how we lost Kenza. She went from, was our best number 10 to more or less sitting on the bench every week and getting cameo appearances. And it's like, it made no sense to any of us, but that was one of the things that was happening to try and make Gabby fit.
Yeah, and we're just going to pause there because Tracy, hello. Yeah, Tracy.
Come in, Tracy.
Go on, Tracy. Can she see us? Can she not?
Tracy.
Until we get there.
Oh, Tracy, she can hear us.
Is that the Bescot? And as we can see live, she's meant to be
on the microphone at the end.
However, someone else has got the microphone. Tracy. If you can't hear us, put your headphones in then. Tell us. Talk.
You talk, Tracy.
1 minute. Okay. Well, that went well for our live reporting. Fantastic segue. Yeah, Tracy might be back, but just as an update, it is 2-2. Michelle Adjuman has got her brace this evening, so we'll see what continues to happen.
But there was actually an injury as well there just at the end of the second half. Germany have chased their goalkeeper. The number 1 went off, holding her arm.
Ooh. Well, that could change.
Oh, I thought it was a head injury. Was it her arm?
She was holding her arm, but it could have been something else too. Because she did walk off it.
I didn't really see it happen, so I don't.
No, I just seen her going off and the other keeper coming on.
Well, there we go. So maybe then, not saying second keepers are bad, of course, but if it's not first choice, maybe we've got an edge there, of course. Right then, we did talk about, though, that it felt like whatever's missing, it felt like maybe a bit more team bonding could be definitely worthwhile. So maybe over this international break, because yes, we've got internationals going out, we do still have a lot of players staying at Bodymoor Heath, don't we? So maybe, now's the time to go on that team building day with everyone that's left and just really try and rebuild the Villa that we know and that we have been seeing. But again, could it be that mentality thing of, it's only Leicester? It shouldn't be, but maybe some of that subconsciously crept in. Now, despite all of that, it was an end-to-end first half, but it was saying Janice or Janice? I think Janice.
I don't know. Cayman.
Let's go with Janice.
I thought it was Janice, but happy to be corrected.
Okay, well, we'll wait there because have we got a Tracy back? Hey, there she is.
Yeah, but
Where's Karen's from?
You can hear us.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can. We're having problems here with you, right? Okay, but we are in Bescot, and we're watching the England U23 in their friendly against Germany.
Connie.
Same mistakes. I think we started off really, really well. We got the first goal in the first 6 minutes. We started off really, really well. Personally, I think Turkey they are really, really good. Hopefully, in the second half, better. We've got Maddie here with us. Sorry, right. And she's an old speaker. Yeah, okay. I'm hoping for a bit more in the second half. If I'm quite honest with you, I think Germany have played really, really well so far. Gone into the break at 2-2. So let's hope we get more games out of it. Natalia is here. Our centre manager is here. Kate, one of the members of the committee, took a photo with that and we had that through. But yeah, she said that she was really disappointed about the Leicester game, but onwards and upwards, and she's hoping for better game. So yeah, so let's see what the second half brings us. But it's a really good atmosphere here at the Bescot. You can see it's quite beautiful.
Live. It does. It looks like a really great.
The hair's a mess. But yeah, we're having a really, really good time. So, hope you guys are all right, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Tracy. Up the Villa, indeed. Thank you very much. Right, I caught none of that. So what we're going to do is we'll send a message to Tracy, get her to do a video, and yeah, no, because that didn't work. So please do a video as the microphones weren't clear. But thank you. Was going to be the message. And we'll get that up on our socials later. But yes, so it is 2-2 at the break. And thank you to Tracy for doing that. And I missed the introduction to who was standing with her on the far right. We knew Ellie was next to her in the middle. But yeah, no idea. So we'll get that to you as soon as we possibly can. Sophie's saying about the goalkeeper, she thinks it was her head/neck. So hopefully the goalkeeper is okay at the end of the day. Right then, now just check in. Emily, you're back. Lovely.
Sorry, I was busy nodding away at what you were saying and then realised I hadn't turned my camera back on.
No, it's fine. I was like, have we lost that? Is she back? What are we working with? But we're good. We're fine. Now, so we got two. So let's look at what actually happened then. So it was end to end, wasn't it, that first half? And then we were going to say Janice came in, slotted past Sabs, unfortunately, in the 29th minute after running onto Sophie Howard's ball over the back line. Now, we do just have to shout out Sophie Howard because she had a really, really good match.
She had such a good
game. So strong. Again, for Scotland as well, she's a phenomenal player. And annoyingly, the best players on the team weren't Villa players at the weekend. It was definitely Howard and Cayman. Now, in the 43rd minute, Mimiki thought she'd double the lead, didn't she? However, luckily, the offside flag was raised. Usually it's against Rachel Daly, so I'll keep that one. That it stopped them from scoring this time. Gabby then had a chance, didn't she? Deep into the first half, stoppage time, as she received the pass from Kirsty Hansen in the final third before turning and shooting from distance, but her strike flew just wide. So we did have moments, didn't we? But just nothing seemed to hit.
We had like 3 fairly decent chances, like just even in the first 20 minutes, and you're just like, another day maybe they'd have gone in. Another day maybe the goalkeeper's fumble, I think it was on like Jill's shot from the edge of the box. Maybe that slips in on another day. But it wasn't all just down to like the luck not going our way. We did not play.
The Leicester keeper did do well to get the Jill shot because the amount of defenders in front of her, I don't think she had too much vision of that coming through.
Yeah. No.
Even on the Leicester goal, their first goal, like we had ample opportunity to clear that.
Oh yeah.
It just felt like it was going in slow motion, didn't it? Mm. And it was like, why is no one there? Why are there huge gaps? I remember thinking as well, just like the passes were sloppy, and like even from people like Jordan, who you don't really expect that from. It just felt like Leicester were just taking every single ball off us, and just we couldn't hold it, could we?
I think I sent you that video, one of the few that I took of when we were sort of had an attacking. It was like a counter attack, I think, and Kirsty was bombing down the right, and she had so much space. And well, like from the angle that I took the video from, you can see exactly where it needs to be. And the ball was Jordan overhit it. It went, I think, so like to the right and way too fast past Kirsty. And then the whole attack broke down because by the time Kirsty had recovered the ball, there were 3 Leicester players around her. And that was sort of summed it up, I think, where you just... there was just heavy touch all over the pitch. It's just the simple things weren't being done very well, and then the whole thing crumbles.
Yeah, and that's when the frustration builds, and that's when you can see that it isn't going our way. Now let's talk about the subs, because at half time, we had some questions here. Now Natalia clearly thought, right, get fresh legs on. We're conceding, too much. Let's change Anna Patton and Sarah Malin and bring on Dan Turner and Paula Tomas. Now, all 4 we know are phenomenal players. But Gary, for you, replacing your two main defenders, really, nothing against the others, of course, but Patsy was playing well, you know, in the grand scheme of things. So do you think those two subs in defence were the right ones to make?
No, nowhere near it. Like for me, Sarah was probably one of our better players actually on the pitch at the time.
Yeah.
And for her to go off, I don't think it's a surprise that Leicester got two very, very quick goals in the second half, because we were still trying to settle and Sarah was already up to speed. Nobody was just shining a light on the pitch. You know, the whole team didn't play well. But the single Sarah and Patsy out in the defence as being a weakness, when, you know, sort of being there, they were probably two of the better defenders. Like even Lucy wasn't having a great game, which is a surprise because she has been consistent. But I didn't even realise that Moritz was on the pitch. You know, just
that's the thing. Yeah, a lot of the players were
missing. It felt like 10 players.
Yeah.
You know, so for her to be the one that stayed on, was actually probably what confused me the most. Take off Sarah, leave on Moritz, and Moritz was the one that really wasn't performing.
Yeah.
It made no sense, and I don't think it's a surprise that Leicester got two very quick goals in the beginning of the second half.
See, I agree that was probably what led to them scoring so early. But I think on the Sarah front, I was half expecting her to go off at half time, because I don't know about you, Emma, but I just thought that she was getting completely over. Like, she was doing a lot, but I think that's because it was all coming down that side, and they did get through quite a few times. I was expecting to hear maybe Lucy Parker and Sarah Mailing, and then it came over the tannoy.
Yeah.
Anna Patton.
Sarah might have been getting ran over, but there was nobody there with her.
Yeah.
You know, it was a back-to-door problem. You know, we can't single Sarah out for the defensive mistake.
No. I just mean I can see why she was one of the, if that she was going to make defensive changes, why she was one of them.
I can't. I think Sarah was one of the stronger players. She was getting hammered. She was getting hammered, but she needed more support. You know, it needed to be a team game, and the team just weren't at it. Yeah, and it's like going back even to the Brighton game. Again, we thought that was going to be an easy win, and we made that harder than it was as well, because the last two games, the defensive just switched off compared to when we played Chelsea. You know, we literally hadn't scored the goal for them. The defence was that tight.
Yeah, it'd be nice if we didn't make it hard for ourselves. That'd be quite nice, wouldn't it?
It would be nice.
Emma, which side of the Patsy and Sarah and Lucy debate were you on?
I can see why Mailing came off, because she was slightly overwhelmed. Like, everything was going to, like, for her. Everything was going at her, basically. I'd have kept Patsy on, because, again, she was having a really good game. And if you were going to take any centre-back off, maybe Parker. But I'm also with Gary with taking Moritz off, because, again, she was just completely marked out of the game. She wasn't doing anything. And I didn't really realise that she was actually on the pitch at one point. Yeah. But I'd have definitely kept Patsy on.
Do you think it's a risk in general switching your centre-backs up at half-time? Like, Dan Turner's a great player, obviously, and Lucy and Patsy have played quite a lot together. Patsy and Dan have played quite a lot, but Lucy and Dan haven't played very much together.
No, not at all. And like you said, that's like your backbone, isn't it? Like, if that needs to be on point for a team to work. And, you know, it didn't get any worse when they came on. But it, like you said, it's such a big risk. So second half starts. Then we've had these two subs, and then came in again. Came in having the game of her life, by the way. But I can't be mad at that goal.
No,
That was
No.
BBC called it a swinging
No.
volley, and it was like the
Yeah.
power behind it, and just like yeah, it just was. However, we didn't even have time to digest that one before Julie Thibault headed home a minute later, a minute in between them. Whereas against Brighton, it was us getting a goal back within about 90 seconds. This time it was them adding to their lead. And when they went in so quickly after one another, Emma, what was kind of your first reaction to that? That they were finding their form.
I thought that like the second goal, which was the third goal, I actually thought that was an own goal at one point. Like when it first went in, because all I could see was a scramble of Villa players, and I was like, "Oh no, we've done it again." But then obviously it wasn't.
Yeah,
so
was it us?
I could breathe at that point. But then at 3-0, I was like, I predicted 3-1 last week, so then I was like, okay, so maybe it's just going to be a reverse. So it's going to be a 3-1.
I was going to say, we
just
were
went the
all
wrong way around
so
here.
confident. Yeah, we're all like, yeah, we're going to win.
Yeah.
We're going to get a point. It's going to be awesome. In fact, I've got them here. Gary 2-0, Tracy 2-0, Emma 3-1. I joined you in 3-1. Lindsay said 3-0, and Sophie said 1-0.
well, at least Lindsay got the score right. The wrong way, but they got the score right.
Wrong way around. The wrong way around, indeed. Oh, honestly. However, more subs then happened. So in the 61st minute, we had Rachel Daly being substituted for Miri Taylor, as well as Katie Robinson coming off for Chastity Grant. Now, let's talk about it then, because Rach, she's not a person that ever wants to come off, as we've seen. And again, she wasn't the one playing that badly. So, Emily, you had some thoughts about, instead of taking her off, could have just repositioned slightly?
I mean, I, again, wasn't... Because we could see, obviously, like, Miri and Chastity warming up.
Mm.
And I think, based on just how, we always make those midfield subs, I remember just thinking I really don't want Jill or Jordan to come off.
Yeah.
So I can see why out of those three midfielders that it was Rachel that came off, because, I mean, in general, I don't think she's very effective in our midfield. I think that's one of our main problems overall. So I can see why she came off, if that's where you want to make the change. But I also, Gabby did, I think you said it earlier, Gary, like,
not a lot.
Gabby was, some of it was due to like the marking from the Leicester players. Like we said, Sophie Howard had a really good game.
Yeah.
But also some of it, like, she just didn't, there wasn't enough movement. She didn't have a good game. So I don't know why we didn't bring Gabby off, push Rachel higher.
Gabby's not most of the match on her arse.
Yeah.
It
was just always on the floor.
I completely agree with Emily on we should have took Gabby off, push Rachel up front. I actually like the idea of trying to get Nobbs to play number 10, because if anybody has the sort of pass that might break the defence, it is Nobbs.
Yeah.
But we just kept the wrong striker on the pitch. Other than that, I had no argument. Cassidy replacing Robbo, and personally, I would have took Gabby off instead of Rich.
I would have even liked to see Ebony come on earlier than she did.
Yeah.
Because Ebony
what we had on wasn't working. So
71st minute for Gabby. Yeah.
And it felt like one of those games, like we say it quite often about Ebony, that she sometimes shoots when she shouldn't. But that was like one of those games where you need somebody to just take a shot. Because when Leicester are 3-0 up, they can afford to just completely sit back and try and absorb. And most of the time, we just take one too many pass and we're trying to walk it into the goal anyway. So it felt like a game that needed somebody like Ebony, who might just have a crack from distance and see what
and
happens.
that's again, we were already 3-0 down. We're already losing. Like, what did we
Sorry,
not do?
folks. Have a goal.
Mm.
Yeah.
Germany have just scored again.
Yes,
straight over Keaton's head.
Let's have a look. It's number 19, straight over Kiara
In
Keaton.
no man's land. I'm not really sure where.
So look, with the right foot, looped over Keating.
In the middle of nowhere, I should say. Sorry.
We'll just have a moment. That pitch is horrendous, isn't
Miles
it?
off the line.
Oh, yeah.
Why do they keep playing at Bescot? awful pitch. But yeah, Keating, miles off the line. And that was by, I'm going to butcher this, I do apologise, Vidauer in the 51st minute. So it's currently 3-2 to Germany. Good evening, people in the chat. Connor, yep, you did jinx it, mate. We're putting all the blame on you. We love you, but please don't make any more predictions because we can't hack it. But we've got another fantastic person in the chat. Hello, Becky. She says bonjour to all of us. In that accent, I can just hear her saying it now. However, Becky does say Gabby off for sure, but Daly getting irritated wouldn't have been far behind for me. Yeah, unfortunately, Rach does have a habit of getting far too frustrated, and you can see it doesn't help communication, does it? And it's why, I don't know, because she's been giving the armband to Jill, hasn't she, recently? Emily, what do you think of that she sees Jill as that, well, more of that leader in the midfield rather than anyone else who's been there longer?
Yeah, I don't know. I was going to say maybe it's a managerial thing where she's sort of said, I want my whoever's on the pitch wearing the armband, I want them in the middle of the pitch. So you say, oh, well, I've got to give it to another midfielder then.
Yeah,
I guess that makes sense. It's like when people don't sometimes like goalkeepers being captain because you can't really, you're a bit limited as to how much communication you can do with everyone in the team. So maybe she wanted it in the midfield, but then you're like, well, you'd assume that Jordan Nobbs probably was the obvious answer there. And I'm pretty sure she's worn it before.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like Jill, and I think probably out of the 4 league games and cup games that she plays for us, like, is that again? Oh no, it's a replay.
Yeah, I thought that. Yeah, I was like, oh no, not again.
She's like 90% of the time she's the best player on the pitch, I think, since she's been fit. So
yeah,
I don't have an issue with it going to Jill. It's an odd one because you'd assume maybe Jordan or Dan or
maybe it's what Becky says. Maybe it's because she's older than Jordan, which can see more like
she can say the whole thing.
All of it. But yeah, no, I mean Jill. But again, Jill had to go, didn't she? From the edge of the box, and you just think again, we need more players having that confidence. And we say it all the time. We say it every week. But just have a bloody shot. That's what we need. In the second half, then, after Thibault's third had gone in, Cassidy had a shot, Kirsty had a shot, both going just over the crossbar, and it just summed up Villa's afternoon, didn't it?
It got to the point, sort of, I think, by probably even like 75 minutes, where there was no way you could see us scoring 3 goals, let alone 4.
No.
It was like any time anyone got the ball, we were like, shoot. I think even at one point, like, Sabs got the ball, and we were like, yes, Sabs, just have a go.
Yeah. Even Sabs,
we went a little bit delirious, I think, by the end of that match, because you just,
it's so frustrating, isn't it, when you've seen the performances from previous matches against Chelsea, against Brighton, and you just think that Villa's in there, and it's what's not coming out. Now,
we
again,
did say, maybe that's just our general season-long tactic. Just teams never know which Villa they're going to face, so how can they prepare?
If we were still picking up points, I wouldn't mind. But the fact that it's just Yeah, that's. Oh,
Trouble
Michelle.
is, we don't know which Villa's going to turn up either. I mean, the Villa team. So
Well, it keeps us
that's
on
the
our
problem.
toes as well, doesn't it?
That's the nervous part. Like, it doesn't help the anxiety that I have. To be
Oh no,
honest.
100%. I was just trying to get Arroyo's post match.
See, I liked what she said after the match.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the non-video version.
I forgot to watch
because
it.
we
I
don't
watched
have
about
6
30
minutes to watch.
seconds, and then
That's very helpful.
ate my
Did
matches
you?
and forgot.
And what did you get from your 30 seconds? Was it anything good?
That she was basically kind of, unlike Robert DePaul, was saying it was a bit of both. Like, yes, it was her, but the team also didn't turn up the way that she wanted them to. But also didn't help the situation. That's what
very
I got.
good. Very good.
Liked.
Yeah, because it says, I love that this is the opening. Natalia Arroyo believes her Aston Villa side will play better if they're able to move further away from the relegation battle. Yes. Yeah, so a disappointing start to the season. It will be very important because you play better when you feel bigger. When you feel that you don't have a problem in your head and are always putting yourselves in the worst scenario. We will try to get 3 points that we need to be higher in the table and to go far away from the relegation battle. Yeah. That's pre-match. I was going to say, I was like, why are you not talking about that?
She's been saying that quite a lot, hasn't she? But in the part about not getting stuck in your heads, and you'll play better if you're not like overthinking it.
Yeah.
Like putting pressure on yourselves.
Yeah. Shares very bad result, of course. First, because we're not able to take any points. And second, because they win. Just waiting for the subtitles to catch up. A deserving win, but I don't know if 3-0 reflected it. But they were better from the beginning of the game. And they showed us how to be a better team and not allowing them to go. Wow, these subtitles. To go in the sorry. Yeah. A bad result from the beginning. Energetically, tactically, we looked kind of lost. And probably I wasn't able to give them enough solutions or enough instructions or teaching them better how to deal with the way to learn and take the tough results. I don't think that means eat it. Anger, I have no idea. These subtitles are awful.
I think
yeah, so essentially she believed she didn't get her voice across well enough to be able to change the team, and in turn the players couldn't then do what she wanted and couldn't play how they should have, essentially.
I like that part of what she said about that maybe that it was like two-way communication wasn't. I can't remember how she phrased it. You just said it and it's gone from my brain. About them not knowing how to ask her what she wants from them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like that missing link in that communication from what they can, what she wants, how they interpret it as well.
Yeah,
and there been a link there. Yeah, it wasn't good.
Like you said, Emma, I preferred the way she came out and dealt with that a lot more better than how what we got from Robert DePaul when we lost to Liverpool, and it was just
foul on Tia Goldie. She's got the wind knocked out of her. Free kick to England. Still 3-2 to Germany, annoyingly.
come on, Elaine.
It's getting a bit physical. It's quite good. If no one else is watching it, please do. It's very good. Connor said, if you could just play like that when United come down. No. Not giving you bragging rights again.
We'll be on a 3-game winning streak by then, so don't you worry.
Exactly. We're going to be, 10-0 up against everyone.
I don't know why I keep saying these things.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, is it?
I'd get for 1-0, to be honest.
No. But yeah, so Connor's picked up again from something we touched on earlier. So is there genuine concern Villa will go down the season, or are you confident, especially with Palace not being able to pick up enough wins? yeah, it's one of those we don't want to rely on other people because we were saying we know Palace are capable. You know, they nearly got a point against us, annoyingly. But yeah, I mean, they can do it. And that's the worrying thing. If it was
Palace
like
are unpredictable.
Yeah, if it was Portsmouth in the Championship, where bless them, you know, they're not picking up the points, and it looks like slim to none that they will, and they've also got like a minus 33 goal difference, I think. So even if they did pick up the points, the chance of them going up or staying up would be thin. But yeah, we were saying earlier, we need to start worrying now, so we've got enough time to prepare. As Emily rightly said, we need to start pre-worrying. So we've got enough time to put that worry into action.
I think,
go on.
yeah, the tricky thing as well is that it's sort of our must-win matches, of which Sunday was one and we didn't win, have sort of like with Everton have coincided with Everton like, oh, they found their let's play some good football boots.
Yeah, Everton have found their stride, haven't they? Because funnily enough, they bought in the window and they brought Kelly Gargo in, who's phenomenal, by the way. Annoying that we can't steal
You
her.
mean we meant to buy in January?
We were.
We had about 5 chocolate coins.
We've got Everton, which is a must-win.
Yeah.
City in the cup, and then Crystal
Yeah.
Palace.
So let's have a look. So Sunday, when we're back, we're against Everton at home, which we need to get something. You know, Everton are playing really good right now, but you know that needs to be a something. Week after, we're away to Crystal Palace, so that more than anything needs to be a must-win, or else we're in trouble. We're then at home to Man United, which obviously we're going to win. Then away to Liverpool, and we saw how that went last season. Then away to Spurs, which Spurs are going to turn up. We saw what happened to them at the weekend. Then we're at home to Arsenal. Then away to West Ham, and final day we're at home to Brighton. So it's not an easy run of games. Not that any of them are now, but
I'd take Chelsea again, to be fair, because we seem to play well against Chelsea. So we just play them every week.
But why? But why do we play well against Chelsea? They're just another team. And if anything,
that's a question I can't answer.
That should be the mentality of Chelsea is so dominant, you know, we haven't got a chance. So surely that should be we're not going to win.
I maintain it's because we don't have as much of the ball. I just don't think we're very good when we have the ball.
Yeah, possession doesn't get you points.
Yeah. Like, because it leads to us just... We end up sinking backwards and, like, faffing around with it at the top of the box between Patsy and Lucy and Sabs.
I'm trying to be all fancy.
Yeah. Or we're trying to, like...
play it pretty.
Yeah, or we just have all the ball and don't do anything with it.
Yeah.
Whereas when we're trying to counter-attack teams that have more of the possession, like Chelsea, that's where we're more effective.
Yeah, and we can just nick it and we can run forward and then we can make something of it. But yeah, as you rightly said, when we've got the possession, it feels like there's no urgency there.
We play ourselves into making mistakes.
Yeah. And that's exactly where it is. Again, Connaughton, huge game away to Crystal Palace. Depends on that game versus them. As long as you don't lose, you'll stay up, I think. I can't see Palace getting points in 3 games with 2 of those being wins. No, I think it's going to be tight, of course. But we can't rest on that, can we? We need to create our own destiny
especially because the last played Crystal Palace twice and they've both been pretty tight games because we played them in the cup as well, didn't we?
We did, yeah. And then I was doing press for the league match, wasn't I? And I had to rewrite my match report about 5 times because obviously the score kept changing. And I was like, oh my God, last minute winner. Right. Okay. And yeah, if we don't do that again, that'd be great and leave it to the last minute. But we do need a win. We do need those 3 points. So again, I was looking on BBC Sport. Our highest rated player was Paula Tomas, who had a rating of 4.85 out of 10.
I was about to say, is it out of 5 or 10?
I believe it's out of 10 because looking at the Leicester players, Cayman was their highest at 8.3. So, yeah. And the lowest Leicester player was 7.1. So, yeah, that just kind of shows all of it. But that gets voted for by a mix of users and fans and the actual people writing it. So yeah, it wasn't a good reflection of who we are as a team, are they? Another annoying stat: Leicester have officially scored a third of their league goals against us, as they'd only scored 6 in the past, and they scored 3 against us with a total of 9.
One of those 6 was an own goal, wasn't it? I think.
Probably.
Cayman had previously only scored 1 goal this season or 2 against us. She's doubled that as well.
But hey, she stepped up, didn't she? Against it and got her brace. Now, the club initially, so why we were so confident was because they've been struggling to score, haven't they? So they lost Jutta Ransler and Lena Peterman. They've both been unavailable since October and November. And, you know, they've managed to bring people in, but they haven't really plugged the gaps. And it was a case of, you know, Leicester maybe coming into their stride, being able to play again without the ball. Maybe again we played into their hands, but unfortunately it just wasn't. It wasn't enough, and I keep making the horse noise because what else is there to say? Now I did ask on Twitter after the match if anyone had any opinions, just to see it wasn't just us kind of overreacting. Friend of the pod, Martin. Let's have a look. What did Martin say? I've just had it. You know when it refreshes and it takes away where you were, which is quite annoying. Let's have a look. Yeah. So Martin said the alarms were there in the first 5 minutes. That Leicester meant business. It now defines this season as a relegation fight. No mid-table security, just a dogfight to stay up. The players are better than this, but the table doesn't lie. Oh, I like that. We've then got AVWFC Lionesses says the stats would suggest the result should have been very different. 70% possession and 10 corners to their 3. Yeah, we actually had a decent amount of corners this time. The reality is Leicester wanted it more. Do we think that Leicester wanted it more than us?
I think so.
Yeah.
Can we just speaking of
the coach? I think we left the players at body more.
Speaking of corners, can we just appreciate this ball placement from Jordan? It's excellent. Where is it? I can't work out which way I need to move the camera.
Yeah, just forward. To you. Yeah. Bit more.
There.
Yeah, there.
Hey there.
It's not even.
It's not. She took it from there as well.
We don't really need a line.
I know. Which again, officials. Hey. So yeah, and in that respect, Leicester wiped the floor with us, as it's all about who's stronger mentally. And then other friend of the pod, Jonathan, said, I always like to find the positives, but quite honestly, I think that was as poor as it's ever been, and I can't. That was embarrassing. I'd be okay if I thought the players simply weren't good enough and this was their level, but that's so far from the case. Worrying times. Oh, we've got another one from Amy saying, I think you have to give credit where it's due, but also be able to be critical when it's due too. Today was nothing short of awful from back to front. Tomas, the only one I can give any credit to. I think Daly being sub was a mistake. We have to put her up top and bench Nunez.
Got 2 flash strikers. Obviously, you can't make both of them happy. But then,
and that
I'd take having one of them come off the bench. Like maybe Nelly's got that captain role and that you know, leadership role. Starting Daly and putting Nunez on for someone.
Like a job share. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone can do 2 days, someone can do 3. Lovely. Yeah. But it's just about managing it and just making sure that it's getting the best for the team, isn't it? So it's not about egos. It's not about, you know, oh, well, they've been here longer, whatever. You it should be the best 11. But as we've said previously, sometimes it's not the best 11 that gets picked, and specifically not in the right positions either.
I think it on what it was on Sunday.
So long ago.
Like we said, Jonathan said that we know the players can be better than that because we've seen it.
100%.
And like the core of the squad is the same as it was a couple of seasons ago when when we had that great season.
Yeah.
So it's just I think several players had just an off day, and it was all it all just coincided on Sunday.
All combined at once, yeah.
Yeah. And
yeah, no,
there's a reason that they all had an off day, and we won't know that.
Something in the build up, maybe. Again, behind the scenes, we're not there, possibly. Just laughing at Connor. The more I hear listen to you talk about Villa, the more annoyed I am. We drew you at home.
That's why we were so chuffed with that result.
I know. We were like, this shouldn't have happened. What's going on
That
here?
felt like a win.
That celebration was insane when we got a point. But it shows you that we can get points against good teams, and it's just so frustrating that it's so inconsistent. And that's the issue, the inconsistency. Becky says as well, Daly is a proven goal scorer at number 9. Gabby hasn't played in the league very long, so needs to earn her starting position above Daly. And by
what I found about Gabby as well?
Yeah, go
on. Because she came from a Spanish team, am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
So playing in the Spanish league is very different to playing in the English league, and I feel like in the Spanish league they give fouls a lot easier. So I find that she likes to kind of dive and then wait for the foul to be given, but then by that point players moved on completely and she's missed an opportunity. She needs to kind of get used to the fact that fouls aren't given easily, and she needs to just kind of get up. If the whistle's not gone, it's not going to go. There's a motive she needs.
Oh, Liv's just come on. It's just sorry.
She came on ages ago, I think.
All right.
Even a delay.
7 minutes. That's not it. I just thought I'd update the people. Thanks very much. But yeah, no, unfortunately she was on the ground a lot more than she was on her feet at the weekend, and it just doesn't paint the best picture, does it? When you think all that money, just play your socks off, not play.
It was more like Gabby we saw at the start of the season. Remember when we played Man City and she took her own boot off or something?
Yeah, to be like, this came off. No, you took it off your own foot.
You took the rest of the boot off. But yeah, I feel like her play's improved the last few games. I remember a couple of games ago, I don't remember which one, but thinking, she's had a really good game here. She's been one of our better players.
Yeah,
and I don't know, it's just
growing. Yeah,
bizarre.
Like a regression when you're trying to train a puppy, and then everything you teach them suddenly goes out the window, and you're like, no, come back. But it is. It's true. But yeah, no, it was this isn't the Gabby we need today. Of all the days when it's all going wrong, please don't.
I do think as well, like I said it earlier, that trying to make Rach into she's a great player. Number 9 is clearly her best role, and she is really good at playing anywhere across the pitch. Obviously, we saw her at left back for England, but she's not a world-class player playing a deeper role in the midfield. That's not where she excels.
No.
So we should have... I think our problem goes back to we needed to, especially after we lost Kenza in January, we needed to buy in another top midfielder. Because even... I know we have Missy Kearns and we have Mary Taylor, but neither of them are, I would say, challenging for a starting spot. You're not going to start either of them over Rachel Daly.
No.
So,
no, definitely not.
And where does that leave you? Because Rachel isn't a midfielder.
I think the problem is because they pay so much for Gabby, they're quite insistent that she has to be on the pitch.
Yeah.
It's right now, it's trying to put a square block into a circle hole. It's just not fitting.
Why do you think? So I don't think we've actually gone to this question. Why do you think RDP actually brought her in? Was it meant to be a statement thing rather than a practicality thing? Because
I think so.
where was she meant to go?
I don't know, because she didn't. It was
We didn't
really
need a
late
striker.
signing, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was late on in the window.
We'd already had the Marbella camp
Yes.
when she came in, and I don't know.
No, I don't. I just don't know where the original plan was. If it was like Rach was leaving for whatever reason and then it fell through or whatever, then suddenly you had two people for the same role, then maybe I'd understand it. But
It's also, I'm not sure. I don't know how much of the signing decisions are made by the managers. Obviously, they must have some say in it, but I think quite a lot of it is done by director of football and stuff like that, rather than.
yes, Sophie. Ding, ding, ding. Yes, we are. How did you guess? But yeah, no, you're right. Because Mark Skinner's come out before, hasn't he? And he was like, "Oh, I don't deal with contracts. That's not." But then, surely, as a manager, you would at least want to say in who's getting.
I remember them. They said, I don't remember if it was about Gabby or
I
not.
feel like we do get a say.
It was somebody that they'd had their eye on for a while, but I don't know if that was about Gabby or not.
I know he'd been looking at Chastity for a while.
Oh, was it Chastity?
I think so. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I'm just having a look at this lineup because number 4 for England. Who's number 4? Simmons. Simmons is a spitting image of Philippa Angeldal, and I got really confused. Like, why is she playing for the England under-23s? What's going on? Oh, that was so good. That was so close. England so close to equalising from a free kick, but it was caught by the keeper's gloves. Not the keeper, just the gloves. They just went up in there. Good. 77th minute. There's still time. There is still time. Brilliant. Okay. Now let's have a look. Was there anything else from the game that we haven't mentioned that anyone wanted to talk about?
There was an interesting foul that I don't know why it didn't get a yellow card.
Go on then. We love an interesting foul.
I don't remember her name. Let me get my notes up. I don't know why I've spoken.
There was a thing that happened, but I don't remember who it was with. Izzy Goodwin.
Oh, I'm gonna.
Go on then.
Oh no.
We'll laugh at you. Go on.
Eric Stotter.
Eric Stotter.
Maybe.
Yes.
That one.
Yep.
She did this karate kick, but lunged into Parker. Like it was some kind of gymnastic move. How was she not carded for that?
I think he could have got his cards out quite a lot more than he did.
How did we think the reffing was? Because when we realised who it was, we all went, "Oh, he's pretty lenient. He's pretty fair." Do we think so, or do we think actually quite a bit more should have got carded? Because Jill got a card quite late on, didn't she? Was it like 70-ish minutes? Let's have a look.
I think she.
What did you think of the reffing overall?
I think the decisions, the play-ons, the corners, the goal kicks, all that kind of malarkey, fine. But the cards,
yeah.
I mean, that one, prime example. Why was she not carded for doing a karate kid into Lucy Parker? No, I mean,
yeah, I think there was
sound effects and everything.
I think the part of the trouble was it wasn't that he was getting calls wrong, but it was just that he kept missing stuff. And I know that's on the linos as well.
Yeah.
But there was so much stuff where he just, even the incident that led to Jill Byings getting the yellow, which I think she was perhaps lucky to only get a yellow, but the actual initial incident should have been a foul. That's obviously no excuse for having a little. I don't know. Was that on the stream? Did that get picked up? I think it was Ruby Mace. They had a proper little.
So that was completely missed. Yeah. So Emily, what happened?
And I was there.
Well, I think it was Ruby Mace. Apologies to her if it wasn't. Obviously, she's watching.
I think
Clearly
it was.
She's playing.
The camera
Anyway,
panned after, but didn't show
Yeah.
the actual
But
thing.
they she fouled Jill at the top of the box. We should have had an attacking free kick. He didn't. I don't know if he didn't see it. He definitely didn't call it. And then obviously the play carried on further up into our half, and it almost turned into a little fist fight. There was like some shoving backwards and forwards, and then I think maybe the play stopped anyway. Jill went over to the ref and said something, and then got booked. And because she must have said something
Offensive.
in a bad way because she had the armband on, so she's allowed to talk to the ref.
Good point.
So I don't know what she said, but he obviously didn't like it. But I think maybe they were both a little bit lucky that he didn't see the afters that went on.
Yeah, what happened? Because it's not worth it, but you can see why it happens, especially
even after she got booked, she was incensed. She was so angry about that. Because Jordan had to go over to her and be like, "Just stop now, because you've been booked."
Yeah, we literally can't lose you. You're one of the best players on this pitch. Yeah, we can't. Oh, there's a question. Emma, did you have anything from Commentary Corner this week?
There were a few interesting ones. I haven't got loads, but there's like 2 or 3.
Yeah, pick your favourites. That's fun. Would you like your background? There we go. Lovely.
I want to start off with the fact that it took them about 10 minutes to do an Arsenal reference.
It took that long.
We had former Arsenal connection as Nobbs and Moritz combined. Yeah, it took at least 10 minutes. I was quite surprised. But, yeah.
Sorry, I just got distracted.
The short corner.
Shot of the pitch, and it was from the bottom of the goal, and you can just see the mud just like slopped all over the place. And you're just like, ugh, how are they playing? Sorry, Emma, yeah, I'm back in the room now.
No, it's all right, I'll let you off. The short corner, I think it was our first corner of the game. The move off of the training ground didn't work. Well, of course it didn't, because we played a short corner and we can't play short corners. I don't know why we keep trying, to be honest, because they never work.
But it was something different. Hey,
I have to be impressed though, to be fair, because all of our corners were different. Always just back post.
Yeah.
So hey.
They had some sort of little communication, like holding the ball in the air thing going on, didn't they?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was about.
That was interesting. And then the final one, I can't remember the full. It was Leicester still have to play Aston Villa, Everton, someone else. And they're all winnable games if they turn up. I was thinking, you don't have to play Aston Villa. You're like 77 minutes into the game and you're already winning. You don't have to play Aston Villa again. We've already played each other twice.
They did turn up, though.
What?
They did turn up, though.
Oh, they did turn up.
So what we can take from that is the commentary is not getting any better from these.
No.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, I love it when there's mistakes and we can take the mick a little bit. But yeah, no, when it's just wrong, it's wrong. Sophie's in agreement. I've got a button and it says block. No, I don't want to block Sophie. There we go. We can't play corners anyway. Well, we have enough of them. We should, should be able to.
We should be able to do at least one or two.
Yeah. Sophie's also said Sarah Mailing was lucky not to get a yellow in the first 5 to 10 minutes for running around with the ball in her hands rather than giving it to the Leicester player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, if we can not do that when it's like at the beginning of the game, then that would be great. It doesn't start it off well at all, does it? Now, so that brings us to the end, annoyingly. So we are in 11th place out of 12, and mere 4 points ahead of Crystal Palace. So, like we said earlier, we need every single point moving forwards. We can't lose, even against City, Arsenal, United. We need something. We need to do it, or else reality is going to hit that we could be in the Championship if Crystal Palace do start picking up points.
One more thing just on the game.
Yeah, go on.
I half wondered when Patsy came off at half time if it was linked to the reason why she came off against the Brighton match, because I think she had sort of a little niggle in that match. But a few of the players came over at the end, and she spoke to her mum, who was in the crowd, and she confirmed that wasn't it. Her coming off at half time wasn't anything to do with any underlying injury, niggle, or anything. No,
yeah. So purely tactical. Which, you know, we're happy there's no injury. Not happy that it was tactical, because
we also it was a weird one. I don't know if it's well, I mean, I don't think the Leicester stewards at the King Power were that great, to be honest. But when obviously the players in general came over at the end of the match, most of them then just went back in the dressing room. There were probably 4 or 5 that had family there.
Okay.
And, you know, they usually will come over and see them because it's an away match. And the stewards wouldn't... I can't remember who had got through. I think Patsy, because she was already not in her kit, she had like a full tracksuit on, had managed to get over the barriers because there was a gap, you know, between the bottom of the stand and the pitch.
Yeah.
And then the stewards wouldn't let the other players over the barriers to come and see their family. And there was one chap in the crowd, I didn't recognise him, but he came over and sort of shouted down, you know, what are you playing at? You wouldn't see this in the men's match. Like, just let them go and see their family. And then in the end, they sort of just said, sod it, and climbed over the barriers past the stewards. We all gave them a big cheer, but you just think they don't need that. Like,
no, definitely.
There's like, what, 40 of us? Maybe not even that, stood in the crowd around them. What are we going to do? Like, their family has been sat with us the entire time.
Yeah, we're all friends at this point. Like, we are all extended family. But that's the thing. It wasn't like there was 10,000 of you ready to like mob them. Like, it was people just wanting to check in and say hello. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And speaking of stewards, just as an aside, apparently when Wolves went to play Notts Forest in the Northern Premier Division, the stewards told the Wolves fans off for singing too loudly.
No.
What?
Yeah, they did. And they were talking about it last night on the other podcast, and they were like, should singing be allowed at women's football? Because some people and some stewards still think like, oh, well, that's a bit rowdy for women's football. And it's like, we do have songs and we have chants, and people come in from the men's side of the game with the songs, and that's where that one club mentality comes from, because we share the same songs. And you want to chant for your players, and you want to, you know, get that that atmosphere, and, you know, get behind the team. And the idea that women's football shouldn't have that because it's seen as, you know, brutish and laddish, and oh no, we shouldn't have that, just made me laugh that the stewards said you were singing too loudly.
Is that why it's so glad whenever we play like City and so on? But did they adopt that rule that they shouldn't sing?
Yeah,
City never jam. It's like the library.
Yeah. No, and I was saying this as well, like, it depends on what fans you've got, because if you've got newer fans who maybe are new to football in general, who maybe don't know that's what you do, a lot of grounds still have quite quiet grounds, don't they? But if you're, let's say, you've come over from the men's game and you've got some chance to get started, or you're part of a fan club or a supporters club where you've made the chance up, you're going to be a lot louder. And it just depends on who you've got as your supporters, doesn't it? So yeah, I mean, it's a massive mix, but imagine telling like Arsenal fans not to sing or not to sing loudly. I mean, they wouldn't take you seriously for 1 minute, but
10 spirits tell the 56,000 people not to sing.
yeah. Excuse me, this is the women's game. This doesn't happen here. Over the tannoy. Just no, not at all. Right then. Well, the final thing we'll finish on. It's not all doom and gloom, because we've got a lioness again. Well, a senior lioness, of course, because Lucy Parker has been called up. Unfortunately, because of injuries to Lotte Wubben-Moy. But she's joined up with the squad, and they've already flown to Portugal because they're facing them tomorrow night with Spain the following Wednesday, I believe, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
that was a nice save from Keating.
Oh, I've just seen her on the floor.
Well, maybe you'll see the replay. I don't know if you're on a delay.
Let's see a replay.
No, you didn't see it in the replay.
Oh, I see it.
It was an angle.
Oh, that's an awful camera angle. What was that?
It was an interesting angle.
That was just the mud again. So just an update. So that was a Keating save. We're in the 91st minute of 5 minutes of added time, still trailing 3-2. Germany have got a really good youth side. Like, it's so even to score
It's got
against
a bit physical as well.
Very physical, and again on that pitch where everyone's slipping over, it's not great. Oh, nearly could have robbed the keeper. Never mind. As the ball is kicked out. But yeah, so Lucy Parker's gone to join them. Do we think she's got a shot at actually appearing at any point?
No.
Okay. No. Okay.
I'd love her to. Like, not because she's not talented enough, but Serena does Serena things and won't play her. Let's be real.
I think
reality check.
Yeah, I think out of both of them, she's got more of a chance against Portugal rather than Spain.
Yeah.
So hopefully she gets some time.
I reckon.
Oh yeah, go on.
I was going to say, maybe if we can get a good start in the first half against Portugal, then she might make... Oh no, I was going to say wholesale changes, but they're not friendlies, are they? It's Nations League, so it's just normal amount of subs.
Yeah, as far as we know, yeah. So if we get off the ground running, get a couple of goals up, and it looks like it's ours. Then maybe hopefully she can come on as a sub. Oh, that looked nasty. Is that Tia Goldie? Just absolutely clattering down on the floor, going up for a header. I had a really good point. I was going to say.
I missed it earlier. Did Missy Bocanes come off? Because it looked like Robbo had the armband on.
That's what I was going to say. Robbo had the armband, so Missy Ball came off. Yes, well done. Yeah, good. So Katie's got the armband for tonight.
Look at that good old post at Bescot. Yes. Can't see anything.
Can't see anything. Oh, and a horrible stadium. Just knock it down. Knock it down, build a new one.
Got decent chips, though.
Decent chips, yes.
The chips are good.
The only thing we can do about it. Now, Becky's just put no. We could relate that to anything, but I think it's about Lucy Parker getting game time.
Okay. I liked what she said a minute ago about our finishing position.
Yes, let's get that up. So,
see, I am that delusional person.
I want to finish 11th. Might not start the season with idiots talking about being in Champions League. Yeah, we had that the other season, didn't we? Like, yeah, pushing for Champions League places. It's like, hold your horses. We've done it once.
Oh, I thought we were in the league.
In 2032.
In 2032, we'll come back to this moment and go, we said it. We said for Champions League.
Imagine if we win the FA Cup and also get relegated.
I bet no team's done that before. Oh God, can you imagine? That would be. We're going on a cup run, a relegation run. Oh God, that'd be awful.
At least we'll be running around the ball ring with the cup.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. We're adding another cup. Interesting. Stop picking on Bescot. So much better than Villa Park, even without the grass. Hey, if they got a new pitch laid, they built more toilets, gave it a wash. Fine.
But at least at Villa Park, you can see the little flip chart that the coaches have. You can just play spy games.
Yeah, because it's the other side at Villa Park. You
can't
see
anything.
No, that's the other side at Bescot.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know what I meant. I know what I mean if no one else does.
Bescot, you can't even tell who's about to be subbed on until they announce it.
Until they're actually on the pitch and ran over
then
to
the numbers are always the wrong way around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Oh, I don't know if we spoke about that the other week. I think it was when we played Man City. the fourth official just had a nightmare. Like, he put it, like, the first set of subs came on. I can't remember who they were, but then the board went up again and it was the same ones, and you're like, hang on.
It's like, did that just...
Yeah.
Was
And
that
I
the
think
day the board
Kirsty was
kept
like,
flipping on and
is
off?
it me?
Wow.
I was like, and then when they did go up again,
Yeah.
it was the right numbers, but they were the wrong way around. Like, the red was green and the green was red, and you're like, you get the idea. Just get on the pitch.
Yeah. We know what we mean. Awful. It again, that happening in front of so many people, though. It's just like, no, why is that happening?
Imagine the person clicking frantically.
Please work. Now we can confirm it has finished 3-2 to Germany over England at the Bescot, and everyone is covered in mud. So if that doesn't say anything, I don't know what will.
Oh,
It's a
I
bit
miss
foggy.
Liv.
Yeah, 3-2. Yeah, Liv came on, miss her. I mean, she's never going to come back, is she? But that would have been perfect.
Freya play.
I didn't see her. However, that doesn't mean anything. So, but no, I didn't see anything.
Because doesn't she
Yeah.
play for Scotland now?
No, me.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
I knew
Hey.
that. We even
okay.
Thanks,
Emma,
Emma, you're
no
on it.
offense, but you know the fact that you were on it there, that was great. Well done. I'm proud of you for that.
I
fact.
remember
I've
seeing
never
her
got
name
spot
earlier.
No, you're absolutely right. So just to confirm in the chat, Freya Gregory is not there for the under-23s because she now plays for Scotland.
Somebody's just gone hopping over to the huddle. I don't know who that was.
Yeah, I don't know who that was either.
I'd love to tell you, but I've closed my iPad. It is no longer on my radar. Now, of course, Lise Parker is not only international. We've also got Sabs and Dree have already played for Canada in a 1-1 draw last night.
That's
We've got,
so fucking-
it was
I was going to say, it's just so bizarre to me. Don't know what that's about. Really?
no,
Well,
because of course Dree left early. There were pictures of her in the gym, building back
It's-
up, and
it's
then
not even just the last matches, it's the last couple of matches. So the first one, oh, maybe she's injured.
yeah,
And then this one, Sunday morning, you think, oh, she's not on the team sheet again. Maybe she's injured.
yeah.
Nope, she's on Canada camp and she's played the last half an hour for them.
Yeah, there's pictures of her in the sun, training away.
Mm.
We need to know what's happening there because I've got a Dree scarf. I need to wear it. So if she leaves, I'm gonna look silly. Not the only reason, of course. We need it.
It's a weird one, yeah, because they thought maybe she's going to the NSL, but they're pretty far along with their. It would be quite almost a late signing at this point. Like they announced their schedule today with all the and the teams are putting out their schedule graphics with all their big name players on, and you'd think you sort of missed the boat a little bit if that's where she's going.
Yeah, it would have been announced. So again, we more than anything hope she doesn't go. But if she's not getting the starts, if she's not getting the time, it'll just be another United again, won't it? Where she's not getting the minutes. So hopefully, she'll come back from camp. She's feeling much better. Again, different headspace, different.
Yeah, it might have been something entirely separate. We don't know.
Exactly.
Maybe that's why she went early.
Mm.
Who knows?
Yeah, if you're already somewhere else for any sort of other external reason, then it just makes sense to go to Spain. Rather.
But we've also seen as well, if different competitions have started at different dates, they've asked clubs to release them bit earlier. So maybe it just could be that Canada asked for it to be released early.
It's just Dree, is it? They take Dree and they don't take Sabs.
Yeah.
Also that. Yeah.
Labs did play well though. So.
Yeah, she did. So yeah, watch this space. We shall wait and see. So we've got other internationals going on across the days. I think we said last time it was nice that some are on a Wednesday night, some are on a Friday, a Saturday, and so it gives you the chance to watch different games. Now we do have something exciting to tell all of you. next week, so because it's international break, what we're going to be doing is bringing you an international special. So this pod in itself will not be here next Thursday, but an international special from the whole 115 yards will be in its place, but we will remind everyone nearer to the time. So essentially what we're going to do, we're going to pick a country each, we're going to follow their progress over this international break and bring to you proper match reports, and just fill you in with as much information as we possibly can from this international break, which we're really, really excited for. So don't miss it. But again, on socials, we'll post all of those details nearer the time. So I believe that's it from all of us.
Becky's final comment.
All is good. We're going to re-sign Rue. Yes, please. Yep. She, she's been such a character, as we know, but she's still being called up to Island Camp.
Mm-hmm.
She's still part of it. We know she's got a couple more seasons in her. But as she rightly says in all of her podcasts, she needs to be managed, and she knows her own body. She just needs someone to, understand that. I would love it if we re-signed her. That would be fun.
But then she's very injury prone as well. It's the only problem.
That's why
we
you
don't really need another injury.
Yeah, but I think she'd just be good for the squad in general.
For the squads,
she definitely left spirit.
Yeah. No, yeah, should be. But as a personality in the dressing room, like, should be top notch to bring those positive vibes, as the kids are saying. The Becky's like, proper match reports, as if we don't already do it. No, like, we take them each, so we're not just talking about the same match. We watch different matches and we bring the information back in and we share it. That's the plan. But no, it's going to be incredible. So thank you so much to everyone for watching, listening, watching on playback. We're going to put the socials up on our outro video, and just a reminder to everyone on the pod with me. You can either mute yourselves, remember it doesn't do it automatically, or just don't rustle. That would be great. As the music is playing out. So we will go now. Thank you so much again. Follow us on socials if you can, and we'll be back next week with an international special. So thank you so much, everyone. Don't touch anything. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.